Scattered snow showers will move through the region as we go through the second half of the day and into the first part of your night for that matter. Temperatures only peaking in the low 30s, but that wind is going to be something that we keep an eye on as we head into the night, especially with lows like this. Either side of zero, East River, some single digits toward Pierre, teens, maybe a few 20s in the southwesternmost corner of South Dakota. We'll talk about the rest of your forecast coming up, but until then, Midday in KELOLAND starts right now.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group, Midday in KELOLAND.
One man arrested following an early morning truck versus motel crash that left people injured. Plus,
the man suspected of gunning down a healthcare CEO in broad daylight captured hundreds of miles from the scene of the crime. I'm Jared Hill with what we're learning about the high school valedictorian turned murder suspect.
Good afternoon and thanks for having us in. A 38-year-old man is behind bars this midday, accused of crashing into a motel, hurting people inside. Before 3 a.m., Sioux Falls police responded to reports of a truck that drove through the intersection at Russell and West straight into a room at a nearby motel. Police say the truck was traveling at 80 miles per hour. Police say the driver tried to walk away, but they stopped him. Officers arrested 38-year-old Nicholas Gali for a hit and run and DWI. The people inside the building received minor injuries. Bovine tuberculosis has been confirmed in South Dakota for the first time since 2021. According to the state veterinarian's office, the infected steer was initially identified in late October during a routine inspection at a Wisconsin packing plant. Records then linked the steer to Hamlin County. Bovine TB is not currently a threat to food safety in the United States, thanks to milk pasteurization and comprehensive meat inspection programs. In weather, we're seeing some flakes fluttering out there, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just in the hills this time around. We're getting scattered snow showers across a decent portion of the region. Let's get right down to it with live Doppler radar. And you can see those snow showers moving through from northwest to southeast as we head through the last about hour or so, with two main batches, one between Pierre and Rapid City, and then the second batch now moving through southeastern South Dakota, including here in Sioux Falls. We've been getting a couple of extra flakes. We're not quite done yet, though. We do still have a little more of this to go through the rest of the evening and even into the first part of your night. We'll head out to Terry Peak now, 22, with the wind matching that in nearby lead. This snow has really been very beneficial as they get ready to start the season sooner rather than later out in the Black Hills. And speaking of skiing, I got the Snowcats out there grooming the hill over at Great Bear. 33 with a west wind at 11 miles per hour. Considering how dreadful last season was, it is nice to see that we could have an earlier start to the season out in Great Bear. Goodness knows they could use a nice rebound from what happened last winter as well. We are in the 30s in many locations, some 20s out there. Marshall and Watertown at 29 apiece, 26 for Sisseton, 28 Spearfish, up at 32, Phillip 35 in Rapid City, Pierre at 33, 32, also up toward Aberdeen. But then there's the wind. It's not too bad East River, but it's going to start to pick up more and more as we head through the evening and overnight. It's already pretty windy out West River, where we've been dealing with some pretty strong gusts at times, not to mention the winter storm warning that's still in place for the central and northern hills. So this is what we're going to be watching for the rest of the day, as high temperatures really don't move too much from what we have right now for our current temperatures. If anything, we're going to start to slip backward a little bit sooner. We'll either way have those highs generally in the low to mid 30s with a couple of 20s out there, especially from the Buffalo Ridge up into northeastern South Dakota, where we'll have highs more likely on either side of 30. But like I said, that wind is going to be picking up as we head through the day. It's already there out west, where we get a little bit of everything this afternoon. Either side of 30 up to the northwest, closer to the mid to upper 30s near and south of I-90. But then we get ready for some intense but not long-lasting cold, especially if you're east River. Still worth talking about, though. We'll go through those details coming up.
Thank you, Adam. The State Theater in downtown Sioux Falls is gearing up for its busiest stretch of the year. The historic venue typically has showings every Wednesday through Sunday, but it is open daily throughout December, offering a long line of Christmas classics as part of its annual holiday series.
There are so many to pick from, but you really have to stick with those classics. And we see year after year that they sell out and there's demand, people calling that they want more showings. So I think we're on the right track.
A Christmas Story is playing tonight at 7 o'clock with a few individual seats available. In fact, Weiland says the majority of the movies showing between now and Christmas are already sold out, so be sure to check ahead. The Cathedral of St. Joseph in Sioux Falls is an impressive building. It will be even more impressive in 2025 when a world-class organ is installed. The $2.5 million instruments will be part of the cathedral's architecture. The assistant music director says the quality of music is about to rise significantly.
There's only so many amazing organs in the world, and to have that special instrument where I work and get to glorify God and live out my faith is such a blessing.
Learn more about why the old organ needs to be replaced tonight in our Eye on KELOLAND at 10 Central Time. A suspect has been charged in the killing of a health insurance CEO on a New York City sidewalk last week. CBS News has learned while the suspect was talkative at first, he's no longer cooperating with authorities. Jared Hill reports from New York.
He ran, but he couldn't hide for long. 26-year-old Luigi Mangione was arraigned on murder and other charges last night in connection with the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Police in Altoona, Pennsylvania caught up with Mangione after someone recognized him at a McDonald's.
What did they ask him?
They asked him if he had been to New York recently.
And he responded nervously.
He was very nervous.
Anna Schechter with the CBS News Crime and Public Safety Unit says charges were filed swiftly based on the evidence recovered on Mangione.
He had the same fake ID that the person of interest used to check into that hostel on the Upper West Side of Manhattan before he carried out the killing. He also had a ghost gun that was capable of firing 9mm rounds. He also had those 9mm rounds in his bag.
Casings from those 9mm rounds were found here at the crime scene last week. Now all of the evidence from Mangione's arrest has been turned over to the NYPD. As we learn more about the suspect, he appears to fit no obvious criminal profile. Mangione is from a wealthy Maryland family and attended elite schools.
I knew of him. I knew him somewhat well. He was a nice kid.
He spent some time in Hawaii, where two people who knew him say he suffered debilitating back pain. While authorities have not yet released a motive, they were quick to tamp down any hero narratives.
In some dark corners, this killer is being hailed as a hero. Hear me on this. He is no hero.
Mangione is currently being held at a Pennsylvania state prison and could potentially fight extradition to New York. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
The Altoona Police Department is telling all officers to be careful after receiving threats via email and phone calls. Still ahead.